Right. So it's like today's conversation is pretty much about having like the difference between a private life and a public life, and the old saying that people like to claim that people are living a double life. Now, yes, there are some people who are intentionally possibly living a deceptive life, because they are gaining other things off of people when they are able to trick them or whatever the case may be. It could be relationships. People trick people into sex. People trick people into making money or getting money off of them. People trick people into somewhere to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do be out here tricking people. But at the same time, though, it's still like everybody who has an understanding of what it means to be, let's say, reserved, keep some things to yourself, have some discretion about you. Those types of people, they get it. They understand. They know that it's okay to have a public persona and a private one. And some people get offended, it seems, when you keep certain things from them. Naturally, you would want to keep some things from people because, obviously, the more people know, the more they have to either use against you or just they have too much to think about you. You know what I mean? Especially if it's people you don't even care to think that much of you, But at the same time, when you do have a private persona, that is for you. It's not for everybody else. So people do get offended by that when, let's say, you don't post your private affairs on social media just as much as you post your public ones. And I feel like it's just sometimes it's not fair to claim that a person is living a double life because they're not allowing for you to be privy to what they do for their own pleasure. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not always about sex or sexuality. It's sometimes about family and those types of situations and things about life that sometimes people just can't know everything. And you may not be the same person who you are publicly versus who you are privately. So why would a person feel like, let's say, finding out that you are dating somebody no one was expecting for you to be dating? Or finding that you done posted some OnlyFans content, you know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden you are a bad person to everybody. Now, truth be told, depending on what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? You probably are. And everybody's got their own, space to judge or discern who they socialize with. But that's to say, everybody cannot blame you for not forking up a whole bunch of information and detail about yourself that just is not of their concern. Shouldn't be anyway. So the question then is, what do people mean when they say you're living a double life, right? I guess that's the question. What do people mean when they say you're living a double life? If they've ever told you that, then what did you gather from it? What did you think? Were you offended by the question? Hell. It can be kind of offensive or especially coming from somebody who doesn't really know you like that. Doesn't know enough about you to be able to say this or that, right? But then too, it's like, let me do me. Let me have my space. I'm a firm believer of that. I feel like every man, every woman needs to have their own space to just be themselves. Which is why, like, if I was in a relationship, I still would want to be, and this sounds crazy, you know, it would never work, but ideally in my mind, if we had a big house, you had your side, I had my side, if we had an apartment, or just in dating, you know, I don't mind me having my apartment, you having yours, you know what I'm saying? But, and mind you, that's stressful, I get it. It hardly ever works out, but I'm just saying, I am the type of person who needs their space. And is not necessarily utilizing the space to do crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really just kind of utilizing the space to stay sane. But, and, you know, enjoy myself. I'm grown, you know what I mean? I'm gonna walk around, I'm gonna may walk around in my crib, you know what I mean, and feel nice and light. And I like that. So obviously stuff that makes me feel like I have, again, some control over what I do privately is important. You know, and I think that we do have to give people that space. Mind you, some people are doing all kinds of things privately. Now, the thing is, especially, let's say, if they hurting people, like, you know what I'm saying, snatching people up and abducting people, like, that's not cool, right? So that type of double life, you know, when things become to a certain extreme, obviously, there's a certain level of, I would say, communal fairness. Like, you still kind of want to know who's around, which is why I mean, you know, to know that a person has to put a sexual offender sign in front of their door if they've done something to somebody. I mean, I think that that's fair, you know. But at the same time, though, I say, like I said, when things become to a certain extreme, then it becomes a concern for other people in the community. And I can agree with that, and I can go with that. But if it's just on something more personal, more personable than just, look, it's just something that I'm doing, then that does not have to be shared with anybody. And two, or something that I'm just going through. You know what I'm saying? People will go through things all the time, and you may have a friend who feels like, damn, why you didn't tell me? Like, you were supposed to at least say something to me. You were going through that. But I do think that it is a person's own right, you know what I'm saying, right, to be able to go through something by themselves, for themselves. Now, truth be told, I would be upset if a friend was going through something where I could have helped them and I couldn't. But I also they didn't allow for me to know anything about it. But I can also be understanding if they told me, Amal, I just really needed to go through it. I mean, what can I say? What can I do? You grown like me, you know? But yes, so private versus public personas, affairs, and people being offended by not being let into your situation and questioning you and your character because there are some things that you hold more near and dear that you wish to omit, which is okay, that ain't okay with them though. That's what this conversation's pretty much been about. So if you like this little note to self, this little thought, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe, boom, run me up, okay? You know what I'm saying? And come back again for another thought. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Peace.